Darlene Leiker, and I do boob art. Boob art is where I paint with my breasts, and as you can see, very impressionistic, and 100% of what I make on my paintings goes to breast cancer research. This one kind of came around because my husband used to travel for his work, and he was gone for an extended period this one time, and at that time we owned a winery, and I was excited for him to be coming home. And so I thought, how am I going to make him excited to be coming home? Well, I'll paint with my boobs, just like every other wife would do, right? Because we owned a winery, I did a cluster of grapes. I took a picture of it and I sent it to him. And he texted back, I said, in my text to him, I said, look what I painted for you. And he said, oh, that's nice. I texted him back and I said, well, I painted it with my boobs. And he texted me back and said, well, I can't wait to get home, which was the reaction that I wanted. Well, that was in December of 2012. And in October of 2013, my mother had to have a mastectomy and I had to have a partial mastectomy. So I decided, well, I still got them. I'm going to use them for good. So I just started painting more and people started wanting to purchase them. And we didn't and don't need the money. So I just donated all to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And that was the beginning, and I'm still doing it. I take a lot of pictures when we travel. You'll see through here, like this one is the top of the volcano in Hawaii or in Maui. Others are inspired by photographs I've seen or just places we've been. Flowers especially are kind of easy to do because a lot of their petals I can create with either the different techniques that I've come up with, which there's about 4 or 5, I think. I guess it's been about 3 years now that I joined the art club, and I was just looking for like-minded people, creatives to hang out with and to inspire me to keep going. It's, as you can imagine, doing something in your home all the time and alone, you need a little inspiration sometimes, and just to be around those creatives that will keep urging you on. And that's what I find with the art club. Those people are just so genuine, so kind, and they're also really good critiques that they give me when I'm working on something. They'll say, oh, well, have you tried this? Or, I need that because I am not a trained artist. This is just a hobby. When Channel 8 was here, I showed that process with the backdrops of what I call a watercolor wash. Again, I learned in high school how to do this, and so I thought, well, I can do it with acrylic too, so that's the medium I use, and so that's what I do on some of the backgrounds. Some of the backgrounds are completely boobed, as I call it. And others are painted with a brush. So in 2023, I had the opportunity to be in a local shop that the Jelly Queen had. And on one occasion, I got to meet with a gentleman who suggested that I talked to the people at Channel 8. And so actually Channel 8 called me after that, and they did my story, and they were the first ones to ever see me paint. My husband just kind of stays away when I paint at home because it used to be something that I did only when he was traveling. So they came out in May of 2023, I believe it was, and they did my story. They kept having to put off entering it for the Emmys until last December of 2024. I got a call on Christmas Eve from the photojournalist, Brandon Mallory, and he said, did you know you won an Emmy? And I was like, well, I don't think I won an Emmy. I think you won an Emmy. And he said, well, it's your story. So Jovan Paniker, the reporter, and Brandon came out on Christmas Eve and gave me their trophy, their their statue of the Emmy that they won for my story. So what a great Christmas present that was. And so it's sitting downstairs on our mantle. I do put on, or I have for the past 6 years, I believe, annual gala where I have all of my paintings in a local business and host my gala there, which is basically a party and a sale. I do a silent auction so people can bid however much over a certain price that they want. So it's a really good time to get a great deal on my paintings. Or sometimes it's not such a good deal because people will bid up if they really, really want that painting. So I do that usually in October because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And other times during the year, I do the Arts in Bloom in downtown McKinney. And the past couple years for our ranch winery has allowed me to do that. And they're also using one of my paintings on a label of wine that will come out next year. And part of the proceeds from the sale of that wine will go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation.
All of my paintings can be found on my website, and the price is on there, or suggested donation is on there. So if you want something, you can contact me through there. Or a few of my paintings are at the McKinney Wine Merchant. He was the first merchant to ever let me put my art on his wall, and I was his first artist, I believe. But now he has multiple, but yeah, so every time I have a couple new ones, then I go trade them out. So I try to do that at least once a month, but it's usually about every other month. I do have prints now that I'm doing that, you know, popular paintings that, you know, people say, oh, I wish I could have had that or whatever. So I have some limited prints for that. Okay, so other things that I do is each year I try to do something different. So bring something new to the table, should I say. One year I did what I call Boob balls. And these are just nice little ornaments for tabletop, whatever. And they make really nice gifts. And then to explain kind of the process that I use when I'm doing my paintings, I used to use paper plates and put the paint on there, put it on, and then press on the canvas. Well, the plates turned out so pretty, and I'm like, I can't sell a plate. So I started using watercolor paper, and these become palette paintings. So they're just little ones, and, you know, if you don't have a big space, then these work really nice too for people who want to buy something little and donate. So